Example of biological method. Now we will see the different steps of biological method by looking at the history of biological problems related to malaria. Biological problem 1. What is the cause of malaria? Step 1. Observations. The people and physicians in ancient times, more than 2,000 years ago, had some observations on malaria. For example, the patients of this disease experienced recurring attacks of chills and fevers. The disease was more common among people who lived in low marshy areas. When some volunteers drank the water from marshes, they did not develop malaria. Thus a new observation was made, i.e., the disease did not result from drinking the water of marshes. Then they began thinking that stagnant water of marshes poisoned the air. When people breathed in this bad air, they got malaria. That is why they gave the name malaria to this disease. The Italian words mala means bad, and aria means air. These observations did not help much for solving the problem, i.e., what is the cause of malaria? 200 years later, it was proved that many diseases are caused by microorganisms like bacteria. In 1878, a French physician Laveran studied the ancient observations and work. He observed the blood of a malarial patient under microscope. He noticed some microorganisms in the blood. He won the Nobel Prize for his discoveries. 5 years after Laveran, the same microorganism was observed in the blood of malarial patients, and this microorganism was given a name of Plasmodium. Step 2. Hypothesis and deduction. Biologists further built upon the ancient observations and the discovery of Laveran. They developed a hypothesis, i.e., Plasmodium is the cause of malaria. For testing the hypothesis through experiment, biologists made a deduction. If Plasmodium is the cause of malaria, then all malarial patients should have Plasmodium in their blood. Step 3. Experiment and results. In order to test the hypothesis Plasmodium is the cause of malaria, biologists carried out the following experiment. They examined the blood of 100 malarial patients under microscope. It was labeled as the experimental group. They also examined the blood of 100 healthy persons under microscope. It was labeled as the control group. Results. It was observed that all the malarial patients had Plasmodium in their blood, whereas the blood of healthy persons was free from Plasmodium. These results supported the hypothesis that Plasmodium is the cause of malaria. So it was taken as the solution of a biological problem. Biological problem 2. How is Plasmodium transmitted to human beings? Step 1. Observations. Biologists were having the following observations. Malaria is associated with marshes. Drinking water of marshes did not cause malaria. In 1883, an American physician, Albert Freeman Africanus King, King, listed 20 more observations about malaria. Some important observations of King were: people who slept in open places suffered from malaria more than the people who slept indoors. Individuals who slept near a smoky fire usually did not get malaria. People who used mosquito nets suffered from malaria less than the ones who did not use mosquito nets. Step 2. Hypothesis and deduction. On the basis of these observations A. King suggested a hypothesis: mosquitoes transmit Plasmodium. In order to test the hypothesis, following deduction was made. If mosquitoes transmit Plasmodium, then Plasmodium should be present in mosquitoes. Aedes mosquito, Anopheles mosquito, Aedes mosquito transmits viruses of dengue fever in human, while Anopheles mosquito transmits Plasmodium. See the difference between the two mosquitoes. Step 3. Experiment and results. Ronald Ross was a British Army physician who worked in India in 1880s. He performed important experiments to test the above deduction. He also received Nobel Prize for his work on the transmission of Plasmodium. He allowed a female Anopheles mosquito to bite a malarial patient. He killed the mosquito and found Plasmodium multiplying in mosquito's stomach. In the next experiment, he thought to allow an infected mosquito, having Plasmodium, to bite a healthy person. If the hypothesis was true, the healthy person would have gotten malaria. But he did not use human beings for such risky experiment. Ross performed his experiment again but used sparrows instead of human beings. He allowed a female Culex mosquito to bite a sparrow suffering from malaria. He killed some of the mosquitoes and studied them. He found that Plasmodium multiplied in the walls of the mosquito's stomach and then moved into the mosquito's salivary glands. He allowed infected mosquitoes to bite healthy sparrows. Ross found that these healthy sparrows got malaria. When he examined the blood of these previously healthy sparrows, he found many Plasmodium in it. In this way, biologists had got the solution of the biological problem, how Plasmodium is transmitted to human beings. The hypothesis mosquitoes transmit Plasmodium was proved true and taken as the solution of biological problem.